The spring sports season is just underway, while a final touch of winter sports sees two of our local hockey teams meeting in the semifinals of the Blackhawk Cup. Good evening and welcome to Naperville Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Joe Kennedy. Warriors Hockey and the Naperville Hockey Club have met 4 times before the Blackhawk Cup semifinal, with the Warriors winning 3 of the matchups. The two local rivals face off for a 5th and final time this season, with the winner taking on Chicago North in the Illinois Combined Division State Championship. Let's see which of our teams will play for the title at the United Center.
We are down to the final 4 of the combined division of the Blackhawk Cup. The Warriors Hockey Club comes into the game after beating BGHW 4-3. On the other end of the ice, the Naperville Hockey Club upset Libertyville to get to the semifinals. The winner books a spot at the United Center in the final. Starting the game just a minute in, Josh Yates has a shot from the point that is tipped out in front by Tommy Fagman and into the net. Naperville takes an early 1-0 lead. Naperville looking for a quick second. Sean Delaney skates in over the blue line, taking a quick wrist shot that is caught by the glove of Andrew Fichtel. Warriors turn on attack. Evan Ziegler drops the puck back to Luke Peters, who has a shot through traffic, but that's soaked up by Jack Houck. 3 minutes to play in the first. Evan Ziegler gets the puck by the blue line, working his way around the ice, taking a shot that beats Houck high blocker side. We are all tied at 1 after the first period. Not even a minute into the second, Luke Peters gets the puck at the point, taking a shot that is deflected and in. The Warriors go up 2-1. Just 30 seconds later, Evan Ziegler carries the puck into the slot before stick handling past 2 defenders and tucking the puck away behind Houck. All of a sudden, it's 3-1 Warriors. 3 minutes after that, Elijah Houlihan gets the puck in between the circles, shooting one top shelf. The Warriors score 3 quick goals, now leading 4-1 after 2 periods. We skip to the last 4 minutes of the third. Finn O'Toole takes a slap shot from the right-hand circle that finds Twine. Warriors extend their lead, now up by 4. A minute later, James Kavanaugh has a shot from the point that is saved by Andrew Fichtel, but there to tuck away the rebound is Broden Oswald. Despite the late goal from Naperville, it proved to be too little too late. The Warriors take down Naperville by a score of 5-2. The Warriors advance to the Blackhawk Cup final against Chicago North next Wednesday at the United Center.
Yeah, the emotions are high. I mean, we're ecstatic. We finally got a chance to play at the United Center. I've been here for 3 years. It's my first opportunity, so I'm beyond excited. Yeah, I mean, when they got that quick goal, we knew we had to be resilient as a team, and I mean, when our whole season's on the line, we know the United Center's at stake. We came to play, we came back and had 5 unanswered. So
feel great, that stretch of 5 minutes where we had like 4 goals really carried the momentum for the rest of the game and really sealed the deal. We beat them a couple times throughout the season. We know what they got, and we knew that they would make a big push, but came out strong and ended it.
I mean, yeah, we definitely heard a little bit about them. We're probably gonna watch a little bit of film, kind of get to know their game. But all I know is we're gonna come ready. It's the 1 and 2 seed in the state championship. What could be better?
After the break, we'll tumble over to boys gymnastics as our 2 local teams open the season against non-conference opponents.
You made a cow.
Actually, it's a piggy bank. My inspiration to start saving.
How about a more solid way to save?
I'm listening.
Well, BMO helps get your savings habit into shape with a cash reward every month you save.
Cash reward?
And there's a cash bonus when you open a new checking account to get you started.
Wow. Anything you can't do?
Mugs.
BMO. Local news is your lifeline. Let the Daily Herald help you navigate your world with solid reporting, good advice, and a much-needed diversion or two.
Naperville North boys gymnastics finished in 8th place at last year's IHSA state meet and return a lot of talent this spring. The Huskies also have a freshman who was unfazed in his first high school meet. Let's go to Naperville North where they host a tri-meet to open the season. Naperville North boys gymnastics opens the 2024 season hosting a tri-meet against Stevenson and Libertyville. The Huskies are coming off an 8th place finish at last year's state meet, while the Stevenson Patriots place 5th. Jack Halama and Matis Budrika are the top returners for North, while Thor Mace leads the way for Stevenson. We begin the evening on the floor with Libertyville's Avery Wells. On the first turn, he shows a double back handspring into a back tuck. Wells does well on the second time around and secures a score of 8.1, Libertyville's top score of the day. Thor Mace is now running down the floor for Stevenson, and watch this great routine. The Patriot shows off a nice twist and some elegant flow to the performance. He does another twist, this time from the front, before closing it out with his best for last. Thor records a 9.3 on the floor, finishing in second. We talked about North's key returners, but now we'll see freshman Stas Kalabata perform his first varsity routine. The Husky is locked in on the first pass and doesn't seem phased. He then does a little front twist before warming up for the finish. The landing is near perfect on the final flip, and Kalabata records a 9.6, the highest score from any event on the night. We move to the pommel horse, but we will stay with Kalabata and be ready to see more of him throughout the night and the year for the Huskies. He starts with some nice movement around the apparatus and rises to a handstand before exiting. Kalabata records a 9.5, 1 point better than anyone else on the pommel horse. On the still rings is Stevenson's Andrew Otkenbader, who shows off his strength by holding his position. He works to hold the handstand twice before dismounting and does just enough to stick the landing. Otkenbader scores an 8.3 on the rings, finishing in second place behind Kalabata at 9.1. We'll run over to the vault with Naperville North's Matis Budrika. His handspring into a back twisting position is good for third place at 8.4. Next up is Stevenson's Finley Oyston. He does a front handspring into a back pike and sticks the landing with a little grimace. His score of 8.7 is second best behind Kalabata at 8.9. Our second to last event is the parallel bars, where we see 2 state qualifiers from a season ago. First up is Halama, who gets up top and holds his position. After a rotation, Halama holds the handspring and flips off for the dismount. The Husky scores an 8.3. In second place is Thor from Stevenson, who starts the routine with a solid handstand position. He then does well to work around the bars before rotating around and preparing for the dismount. His score of 9.1 is behind Kalabata at 9.2. Closing the night with the Husky freshman on the horizontal bar. Kalabata stays composed throughout the entire routine en route to another first place finish and a score of 9.0. He wins every event, securing the top all-around score by almost 4 points. Naperville North takes the team victory by 1.5 points over Stevenson, and Libertyville takes third.
I think we did pretty solid. I'm proud of how the team performed. Obviously we have Stas, star guy. He went last in every single event. He's new, he's a freshman, but he killed it. Mata's, me, Declan, Albert, we're all part of the varsity squad, and I feel like we all did our part. Obviously there's a ways to go for state, but overall I'm pretty happy with our performance.
With the beginning of the season, you want to get back to what you had last year as quick as you can, and I thought we did a great job getting there. And I think everyone did really well, all levels. I mean, breaking 150 as a team score would be phenomenal. Individually, I'd like to add skills to my routines and up my value, of course.
Sure, there's no credit, but there's boys gymnastics as Naperville Central begins its season on the road, taking on the Wheaton Co-op and Glenbard South. However, last June, the IHSA discontinued the sport, so this season it will be run by the Illinois High School Coaches Association. Naperville Central's Brady Bechtel demonstrates his muscles on the rings, executing a series of controlled swings before landing with precision, earning a score of 8 flat. Tim Engman is back for his final rodeo. He does some swinging, which includes a double back tuck that results in a near crash landing, but he still scores an 8.4. However, Jack Ongstad of the Wheaton Co-op steals the show with a stellar showing, and he hits the ground with an impressive score of 8.8. To the pommel horse with Patrick Malone, who also helps out the co-op thanks to scores like a 9.5 on the event. Onto the floor we go with Adam Martins for the Redhawks, who tucks his way to a 7.5. Up next is freshman Oscar Binkowski, who impresses with a strong performance, scoring a promising 9 flat, and that marks a fantastic start to his high school career. Staying with Binkowski, this time on the vault as he attempts a front tuck and double back pike, and he gets an 8.3. Up next is Engman, who does something similar, but pulls the souk. Engman scores an 8.5. We go to the bar, starting with the horizontal edition. It's Malone with a double back tuck, which lands a solid 8.5. On to the parallel bars, David Shimp adds some insurance for the home team with a performance that's good enough for an 8.1. Then Wheaton throws in the dagger with Ongstad, who performs a 9.3 on the parallel bars, and that helps the co-op to a season-opening win.
Everyone was looking pretty good. I mean, we're all a little bit unhappy with some things, but I mean, like I said, 131, that's the highest I've ever seen this team score, and really, so I'm super excited to see where we go.
I think I did pretty good. On some events I didn't do great on, but overall I think I did pretty well, pretty successful. I think we definitely could work on a lot of form because we had a lot of bent legs and a lot of deductions based on that. And also maybe trying some harder skills to up the DD.
There was a major shakeup to boys gymnastics for the 2024 season, and after the break, we'll tell you how our local teams embrace the change.
Stay in the know at home or on the go with NCTV 17 News Update. This quick recap of everything happening in and around town will be delivered straight to your email inbox for free. Sign up today.
We all have a story to share, stories others can relate to, whether moments of sorrow or of hope and inspiration, whether a story of struggle or a moment of victory. Every little moment captured and shared helps us to feel more informed, helps us to feel more engaged with and connected to the community we all call home. Every little moment captured and shared adds up to something greater. For us, that something is the collective story of Naperville, a city rich in its volunteer spirit, its diversity, its traditions and celebrations, and so much more. In Naperville, there are so many stories worth sharing. It's been our honor to tell those stories and share them with you.
Boys gymnastics was cut by the IHSA after 71 years as a sanctioned sport. Despite losing that status, it has not stopped the sport from continuing across Illinois. We have more for our latest feature story here on NSW. The Illinois High School Association has removed boys gymnastics from the spring sports season, making it the first sport to be discontinued by the IHSA since girls field hockey in 1982.
Gymnastics has always kind of been on the chopping block, and we've always heard, well, we got to be worried. But even though you're kind of ready for it, the moment it happens, it still kind of hits you, and it's kind of sad for me because, I was a high school gymnast back when I was in high school in Illinois, and it's been around for 60 plus years.
The discontinuation mostly stems from low participation numbers across the sport. IHSA Policy 14 states that the board will consider the deletion of an existing state series when less than 10% of the member schools compete in the series. In 2023, there were 40 boys gymnastics teams, many of them co-ops made from multiple schools, while the IHSA has over 800 member schools. The modern era of boys gymnastics saw as many as 79 schools competing back in the 1970s. Despite losing the IHSA sports status, boys gymnastics will continue to roll on across the state, including the two longest running programs in the area, Naperville Central and Naperville North.
I'm super happy that we're still having a season this year, because when I first heard the decision that it might be getting cut, I was super upset about that. But, I mean, everything worked out. We still got a season. Most of the teams that we faced last year are still going to be the same.
Kids now have the option to play more spring sports than ever before, in addition to clubs and activities. Since 2006, the IHSA has added 6 sports as well as 2 activities, with several of them falling during the spring season. Starting this spring, the Illinois High School Gymnastics Coaches Association will run the sport across the state. It will be under a club format similar to ice hockey and field hockey, plus it's gotten full support from District 203.
We're very happy. Our school district, District 203, is very supportive of boys gymnastics. So this year, Naperville North and Naperville Central still have their teams. We're still under the athletics umbrella of things. So we get support from the district and from our schools. So we're very excited about that.
Now under the IHS GCA, coaches from every team meet once a month during the season, acting like the governing body of the sport. Everything will be run through the organization, with the scheduling and format looking very close to what it's been like the past few seasons. A low number of qualified judges could seem like a reason for gymnastics being taken away from the IHSA, but finding available quality officials is a challenge beyond just gymnastics.
The biggest changes are the changes that are happening behind the scenes. Who's running it, how meets are being run and that sort of thing. But on the surface, if you were to come in and watch a high school gymnastics meet, it would look very similar to what it has been.
The only thing that changed was the higher up stuff, and we don't really mess with that, so nothing changed.
Naperville Central and Naperville North have been the lone Naperville area schools to field full IHSA rosters, but all 6 local schools have been represented by at least one individual participant, with several of them making their marks in the history books. The first IHSA State Series was held in 1952, and Naperville North has qualified for 10 of them as a team, the 8th most from any school in Illinois. The Huskies won state as a team in 2001 under legendary coach Brad Farrick, who was at the helm from 1982 to 2016. Naperville Central's best ever finish was a 3rd-place trophy in 1994, while Red Hawk Steve Bashus was the first ever local individual event champion, winning the high bar in 1984. Bennett Academy has had just one boy gymnast in its history, while Neuqua Valley, Mattia Valley, and Wabanzi Valley have had multiple individual competitors throughout the years. Naperville North gave the IHSA a proper send-off with an 8th place finish at the final state series in 2023, their first top 10 finish in over a decade.
To be able to represent Naperville North at the state meet, knowing that was the last sort of IHSA state meet, it was exciting, and the kids were exciting, and they worked hard, though. They worked hard to get there.
Despite the absence of the IHSA, the Naperville boys gymnastics scene is still flying high. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Joe Kennedy. After the break, we have more spring sports starting up with both boys and girls water polo. Then we'll wrap up the show with our plays of the week.
You made a cow.
Actually, it's a piggy bank. My inspiration to start saving.
How about a more solid way to save?
I'm listening.
Well, BMO helps get your savings habit into shape with a cash reward every month you save.
Cash reward?
And there's a cash bonus when you open a new checking account to get you started.
Wow. Anything you can't do?
Mugs.
Naperville Crime Stoppers.
Yes, I'd like to report some suspicious activity in my neighborhood. How does this work?
Yes, thanks for calling. Your call is anonymous, and I will not ask for your name. Instead, you'll be identified by a tip number. In a few weeks, call back with the tip number you received, and I will let you know the status of your tip. If an arrest is made, you could receive a reward up to $1,000.
How do I get the reward money if you don't know who I am?
Well, when you call back, we set up a time and a place to drop the money. You will be safe, and nobody will know you gave Crime Stoppers a tip.
Okay, well, here's what's going on.
Swimming and diving is officially in the rear-view mirror, so that means it's time for water polo as we begin with the girls at Hinsdale South. Mattia Valley is looking to start the season strong on the road with many returning faces back in the water after a 21-win campaign last season. They take on Hinsdale South, who is hoping for a better outcome after winning one game in 2023. One of the key returners back for the Mustangs is Allison Leslie, who dribbles and eyes the bottom left corner, which puts them in front 1-0. 2-0 Mattia, and no, it's not deja vu, it's just Leslie targeting the back of the net for another goal. Caroline Dunford is hoping to get something going for the Hornets, but Mustang goalie Juliana Carter denies access. 5-0 Mustangs, and Addison Bludgeon steps right up with a solid wet shot that looks too easy. The Marathon first quarter continues with more Mustangs scoring as Michaela Paulding caps off a 9-0 first quarter with another goal. New quarter, new score, and it's Kira Henkel firing that ball into the net. We go back to Bludgeon, who gets the ball from Sarah Vokes and just sneaks it in. Speaking of Vokes, Brooke Granger finds her and scores. Mustangs start the water polo season with a 15-0 win.
We have a really good group of seniors this year, including myself, and so we're all just really excited to play together one last time. Some of us are moving on from water polo, but we're just really excited for this season. We had a really good season last year, so we're just looking forward to it. Today we really focused on just like setting up and doing drives and plays, and so I feel like that just is really helpful for future games when we compete against teams that are really good.
We've all had the experience and we've all connected and we know what it's like, and we just have good chemistry with each other.
It's the season opener for boys water polo at Mattia Valley High School. The Mustangs host the Lincoln Way Central Knights as both teams look to start the season off with a win. These squads met in last year's season opener, with the Mustangs edging out the host Knights 16-13. The Mustangs are up 1-0, and Sam Sinsheimer passes it to Owen Simpkins, who rips this shot past goalie Ryan McCoyak. It's 2-0 Mattia early in the first quarter. We have a penalty shot for the Knights as Captain Brett Bethke takes it. He winds it up and blasts it past Owen Bickner, and the Knights are down by 1. Lincoln Way is up 3-2, and they look to close out the first quarter with another goal, and they do as Keegan Coaster buries it, and they go up 4-2 to finish the first. The Knights keep their offense rolling as Coaster finds Bethke, and he lobs a shot past the goalie and scores. Lincoln Way Central is now up by 3 early in the second quarter. Chris Fleming finds Coaster, and he pulls a no-look shot that goes in. Lincoln Way Central leads 6-2 over Mattia Valley. The Mustangs are trying to get something on offense. Simpkins tosses it to Ryan Williams, who goes for a goal, but McCoyak steps up big for the save. Lincoln Way Central leads 8-2 as we go into halftime. The Mustangs look to get back into this game as Sinsheimer is leading the way. He rifles a shot into the net, and Mattia finally snaps Lincoln Way Central's run as they trail 8-3 in the third quarter. Sinsheimer is feeling it as he takes on Noah Sloan of the Knights, and he pulls some moves and scores as the Mustangs are down by 4. Billy McLeod keeps the Mustangs offense rolling and dishes it to Sinsheimer, and he rips the shot into the net for his third goal in the quarter. Mattia's down 10-5 as we go into the fourth. Lincoln Way Central remains in control to start the fourth quarter as they try to stop the Mustangs' comeback. Jack Mraz tosses it to Tyler Lambert, and he crushes the shot into the back of the net. Knights lead 12-6. Despite being down most of the game, the Mustangs still showed that fighting spirit. Sinsheimer blasts a shot into the net to score a 6th goal of the game. It was not enough, however, as the Knights avenge their loss to Mattia from last year and take this one 14-9 in the season opener against the Mustangs.
The boys' water polo season is back stronger than ever for the 2024 season as Waubonsie Valley jumps in for another exciting campaign and is off to a good start after a 20-6 win over Lockport earlier this week. Now they take on Sandburg, who hopes to build on their 16-win season from 2023. The Eagles have the ball in a 1-1 tie, and then John Howaniak lobs it high enough, which lands in the right corner to give Sandburg a 2-1 lead. Yusuf El-Tuni ties it back up with the goal, and then the Metea Valley transfer puts the Warriors in front with an aggressive shot. You can tell he's excited to be back in the pool. Howaniak takes note of El-Tuni's stunts by catching everyone off guard and lasers it in to even the score at 3. Eagles look for the lead, but Ben Meyer makes a stop on defense. Warriors reset with Meyer throwing to an open El-Tuni who dribbles and targets the left side of the net to make it a 4-3 edge for the Warriors. Can Sandberg tie it back up? Goalie PJ Bartson says not this time, and Dub V keeps their lead. 5-3 Warriors, but that goes back down to 1 because Henry Slack scores another goal for the visitors. Cam Sunsulu has returned for his senior season, and here he lobs the ball from long range and it goes in. You know he is ready for his last rodeo. More Warriors get involved, and it's senior Aiden Mahar eyeing a target, and it's the top shelf. Green and gold take a 9-4 lead at the half. Eagles start the second half strong with a couple of quick goals, and Howaniak swims backwards and then pulls the skip shot, and they're back to within 3. Then the Warriors activate second half dominance mode with El-Tuni finding Ben Meyer, and he fires that ball in to put them up 11-6. In the fourth quarter, freshman David Kowalowicz gets involved by targeting the Warrior logo for a goal. After a slow start, the Warriors pull away with a 15-8 win.
It is the start of spring sports, and Metea Valley Girls Water Polo is our girls' play of the week. They shut out and scored 9 goals in the first quarter against Hinsdale South. The Mustangs are coming off a 21-win campaign last season, and they probably could have scored 21 goals if they wanted to against the Hornets. Allison Leslie got things going with 2 of the first 3 goals for Metea. Addison Bludgeon lobs one perfectly over the goalie to make it 4-0 and gets another to make it 5. Michaela Paulding scored the next 2 goals, and then other goals came from Kendall Lucas and Emily Schulk, among others. The Mustangs would go on to win 15-0 over Hinsdale South, a perfect way to start the season. Naperville North Stas Calabata comes up with our boys' play of the week as the freshman competed in his first high school gymnastics competition. Calabata recorded the highest score in every event despite going against multiple top 10 state qualifiers from a season ago. The freshman starts on the pommel horse with some nice movement around the apparatus and rises to a handstand before exiting. He scored a 9.5, 1 point better than anyone else in the event. His best came on the floor, where he scored a 9.6, 0.3 better than anyone else. For his first high school meet, Calabata records an 8.9 or better in every event, paving the way for a great season. Next week on NSW, we'll have coverage of Warriors hockey playing Chicago North in the state final at the United Center. Also, we'll see our first highlights in girls soccer, boys and girls lacrosse, in addition to indoor track and field. You can find our past highlights, feature stories, and community sports on nctv17.org and our NCTV17 Sports YouTube channel. You can also find us on social media at NCTV17 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Joe Kennedy.